Hey rum fans, welcome back to the channel. Today we're looking at the second XO rum from Barbados, and this is the Cockspur XO. You're joining me kind of as we're deep diving this month into Barbados rum. The whole premise, I'm trying to educate myself, I'm trying to educate you guys at the same time, but also kind of trying to find my favourite rum from Barbados. And the moment I've kind of got two, I've kind of narrowed it down to a sipping rum and a cocktail rum. Is there just one rum? Do I need two rums? How I do this, neat tasting. I'm actually going to add a touch of sugar to this as just a simple rum fashioned, but then I've got a very simple rum punch at the end of the video, kind of like just a plain old sugar, lime juice, water and rum. So, you know, I think this is I've lost track now, the 10th, maybe the 11th rum that I've looked at so far. Still, these two rums are holding fast, A, on price, but B, actually they do the job that I want. I still haven't found a neat sipper that I prefer over the Plantation 5-year-old, but we are going up the sort of ages, we are going older and we are getting a little bit more expensive now. Now in the last video, I'm consigning that Dawley's XO to, not to the bin, but you know, I've found a way that I would enjoy drinking it now with a touch of sugar. But for me, it still doesn't kind of match up for what I want there in cocktails in neat sipping. So this is, you know, the Cockspur XO, again, as I mentioned with previous Cockspur rums, this will be the third one now, and this is gifted to me by the Master of Malt, so you will have seen the paid promotion button at the start of this, or little thing that flashed up. I've got little to no experience with Cockspur rums, especially the two older ones in the range. Yes, I have tried them at the rum shows actually, and rum tastings. I've never sit and kind of done this with them, so they're kind of a new experience to me. So I've got nothing really to tell you other than that Cockspur does come out of the same distillery, WIRD, as Plantation. It's not a Maison Franc brand, it's a separate brand, but it comes out of effectively the same stills, the same distillery, WIRD, West Indian Rum Distillery, on the coast in Barbados. Now again, with the XOs, we've got no idea of how old the rums are, what's in the blend. It could be a 1-year-old in here, we could have a 12-year-old, we could have a 15-year-old. We don't really know. You know, there's no age statement, so you can assume that there are younger rums in here, but you can assume that perhaps the average age of the rums is a little bit higher than the 5-year-olds. That's kind of what we would naturally assume, but they don't. There's no, you know, there's no DNA to give you. There's a little bit on the back of the bottle, which I'll kind of read you. Cockspur XO is a work of art. You know, marketing, again, we don't really need that. It's a work of art. Our master blender hand selects our finest vintage rum, limiting each batch to 98 casks, matured in old American oak casks. The rum is smooth and lightly floral. Oh, that's interesting. The rum is smooth and lightly floral with sweet vanilla and soft mellow wood notes, married with your hints of rich cane molasses. Only when we are satisfied with the blend is perfect, our master distiller then applies his signature to every single bottle. I'm assuming that's just his little signature. Have we got a little signature in there? Well, yeah, we've got a little signature on the front of the bottle down there. You will actually see this is number one, bottle number one of batch 5. Is that 5,294? So this could be interesting. Now, to give you an idea of price, how much this would actually cost if you were going to buy it for just shy of £50 in the UK, £49, and that's Master of Malt price. Again, I've already shouted them out, it's where I buy all my stuff from. So roughly, I dare say, you can maybe get it slightly different, but that'll be one of the cheapest prices you get, just about £49 in the UK. So you guys around the world know how much that is. I'm going to translate that for you in a few currencies. So to round it up, $60 US, that's how much that equivalents to. Then we go to 56.5 euros, 93.5 Australian dollars, and then 81 Canadian dollars. So that's how much we would pay. I don't see much of Cockspur around the world, but if you can get it in your country, then let us know how much the Cockspur XO is wherever you are in the comments below. So with the exception of that 4 square that I tried right at the start of the series that I'm going to revisit for a proper tasting at the end of the series, this is now the most expensive rum that I've tried in here, except for that absolutely stupidly priced Real McCoy, the 46% 5-year-old Real McCoy, which is £1 cheaper. So what, $150 cheaper than that? But you know, XO, is it a better quality of rum? Let's find out. So on the aroma, the big thing to hit me straight away, sweet. It smells sweet. We've got a little bit of vanilla in there. We've got a little bit of toffee in there, more toffee than caramel. It's sweet vanilla. That's what punches me. I'm going to spend another couple of minutes, but I don't think there's anything else really coming off that. I'm really clutching now. It's been about 30 seconds or so. I'm really clutching. I potentially may get a little bit of tropical fruit off there, but you really do have to fight through that vanilla on there. Doesn't smell heavily aged. Again, I dare say this may be dosed quite. I don't know. I haven't looked. I dare say someone's done the dosage readings on this and done the old thing test, whatever that's called. I've forgotten. I dare say someone's done it. I would say off the nose, I would pick this as quite a heavily dosed rum. No, I could spend another sort of 5-10 minutes with that. I generally don't think I'm going to get anything else off there. Sweet vanilla. Maybe tropical fruits, that's it. So let's have a little taste. Now that's interesting. That's nowhere near as sweet as what I was expecting. Absolutely nowhere near as sweet as what I was expecting. And I would retract that statement. I think there's potentially a little bit of dosage in there, but heavily dosed, no. It's got a burnt. Oh, the vibes. What's coming off here? It's got a burnt toffee vibe to it, which I've kind of picking up now. The more sort of aged expressions we've had from Barbados, that potentially is becoming the thing. More burnt toffee than caramel off there, but it's definitely burnt toffee that's hitting me first up. A little bit of vanilla backing that up, but at the moment I can't get past that burnt toffee. The reason I'm thinking it's dosed, slightly dosed, is there is no, it's a touch, but there is no peppery wood burn from it. Yes, you can taste a bit of aging to it, but you can't taste what you would get off undosed Barbados rum. That sort of that spice, whether it's a cinnamon, whether it's a sort of a nutmeg, whether it's a pepper, anything like that. You get it slightly, but not too much. So I dare say there's a little bit added to sort of get through that. And for me, that actually makes it more accessible. You know, I'm not against sweetened rums. If that's how you make your rum taste better, but as a business, you know, if that's how you sell more rum, then you do it. You know, a lot of people forget about the business side of things. They kind of preach about what they think rum should be undosed and all this, that and the other. You know, they forget that these are businesses and needs to sell rum. And at the end of the day, more people, 100%, if given the option of availability, more people, how can I sum this up? If this was side by side with something like that Dawley's XO that I had, and you went general mass market, and you said, right, you can buy one of these two, maybe even against, you know, the Dawleys and the Real McCoys. You can buy one of these. Which one are you going? It's going to be, you know, because of the dosage, it's going to be those. That's where mass market is. So you forget, as a business, you know, they're doing the right thing. I'm not saying this is dosed. It's either very clever blending, if it's not, but, you know, it makes it more accessible because you don't get that dry, peppery, you know, woods, kind of soggy woods. It's actually, you know, it actually makes it more of a pleasurable experience for me. The only downside to what I would give this, it's at the moment very one-dimensional. It is burnt toffee, a little bit of barrel aging, maybe a hint of nuttiness, but I don't get tropical fruit. I don't get dried fruit. Maybe if I stuck with it a little bit longer, I may get sort of dried fruit off there. It's a little bit potentially there, but I'm fighting against that sort of the big ones, you know, the burnt toffee and the vanilla and a little bit of barrel, you know, that's all it's really there. Let's dive in. Let's add a little bit of sugar. Let's have a little sort of rum fashioned kind of test. So the merest, again, as I say, the merest drizzles of sugar, no bitters, just rum, sugar, bit of dilution from an ice cube. I really like that now. And that's a tough one. The rum punch is going to be interesting because at the moment, I really do like that. Neat sipping, I'm still going that Plantation 5-year-old, that Barbados, because I can just handle that. It's got lovely, I wouldn't say complexity to it, but I do get more fruit coming off that neat. The interesting thing is now, does this replace the Dawley's 5 as a cocktail rum? You kind of think, hang on, before we get into it, let's have a look at the prices here. With 50 quid for that, and the Dawley's 5-year-old, I've lost it. Oh Christ, we are talking £20. We're talking £20 cheaper, like 25, nearly 25 US dollars cheaper. Or is that, well, I don't know. The rum punch is going to be interesting, but as a rum fashioned, I do quite like that. That's really nice. I wouldn't say it brings out any more tropical fruit notes, but it does kind of sort of mellow that burnt toffee a little bit of dilution. It mellows the burnt toffee, sort of lengthens out the vanilla, sort of takes that. That is actually really not. That's an interesting one, really interesting. The price at the moment is the downside. Let's have a look at the rum fashioned. And by rum fashioned, I obviously meant rum punch. So just to recap, lime, sugar, plain, well, I'll say plain. What do you call it? Cane sugar syrup there. What's it called? Unrefined cane sugar syrup. Rum, water. There's no sort of anything else to detract, you know, add different flavors to it. I just want to see how the rum punches through in that. It's delicious. It's nice. Honestly, that is a really, really good rum punch. You've got the body of the rum. It's a 43% ABV rum. You've got the body of the rum. You've got the flavour of the rum. The downside is it's the price. It's not £20, 25, what did we say, $25, $24, $25. You know, it's not that much better than those. If there was like a $5 in it, $5, like £5, $6 or $7 in it, €6 or €7, I'd be tempted. I'd be tempted to replace that with the Dawley's, or replace the Dawley's with that, I should say. I'd be very tempted, but it's not £20, 25, 24, $25, 24, 25 euros. It's not that much better. So at the moment, they still live to fight another day. They're still going to carry through now to the next video.